All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're talking about the 4070 Super again. I do have the 4070 Super in right now. I've been using it all day since I got home from work, but I want to explain. I want to explain something. I want to explain to everybody what I'm doing and what my plan is and how I'm going to go about this. I will be switching out the 4070 Super and the 7800 XT pretty often. When new games come out, I'll be switching them out rapidly, putting one in, taking the other one out. I've spent the last few days testing, leaving both drivers installed on my PC at the same time. They are both on separate SSDs. I've got one on drive C, the other one on drive P. So to try to minimize the confliction or whatever. Like who knows? When I get on the internet and I look up this information, sorry guys, when I get on the internet and look up this information, there's so much noise that you can't tell. So basically, I'm going to test this, and just hear me out, guys. Just hear me out. I'm not going to go negative against Nvidia, and I'm not going to go negative against AMD. And I'm not going to go negative against the games unless both GPUs are exhibiting the exact same behavior on a game. Then I'll be like, okay, maybe the game is broken. But I will take, like, honestly, guys, I will take this into consideration. I mean, this is science for all of us. This is science for all of us. Everybody screams up and down that you need DDU. My thoughts on that, guys, is if that was really a problem, don't you think that there would be like a dedicated Windows DDD or DDU utility freaking thing that you could get into Windows and do that without having to go to some site and download something? This is my main computer, guys. This is my main computer. I've used DDU a couple of times in the past. I didn't see anything except for it slowing me down, taking time. And then before I got rid of the regular 4070, I tested it. I was like, you know what, man? Why don't I just leave both of them on there and see what happens? I was just like, let's see what happens. Whatever. Worst case scenario, I got to re-download Windows. So I had it in there and I wasn't really experiencing any freaking problems with those. The thing that really got to me the most with the old 4070 and why I was just like, I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm just going to cover AMD is just because of the fact that, like, I seriously was getting tired of, I was getting sick and tired of having to do the back and forth, fighting with people because I mean, at that point, I'm convinced, AMD is right for me. That's what I love. I love the AMD experience. So I was like, all right, cool. I don't even need the headache. I shouldn't even cover Nvidia. It's not even worth it. Let's just stick with the AMD and cover the AMD. So, I mean, that was one of the first big problems. The second one was having to freaking delete and reinstall things every single time I wanted to switch out the cards, because with the AMD cards, I don't even need to do that. I can just put in my cards and I don't need to reinstall or do any drivers or anything like that. It just works. So I just figured, to save myself time and effort so I can just enjoy playing video games, I'm going to do that. So I decided today, after I put the 4070 back in, I just, instead of like deleting all of the AMD drivers, I just left them on there this time. Because I did have them deleted the other day when I was running the Nvidia, when I was running the test for Nvidia or whatever. I did not DDU them last time. I just deleted them. If you read the DDU thing, it tells you that if you can't delete your files or whatever, then use DDU. So I'm like, okay, every time I've tried, they've deleted just fine. So I didn't do anything. I didn't need to worry about that. And that's just kind of the way I do things. Just because there's a lot of noise on the internet, my friends, doesn't mean everything is set in stone. Everything's there. So I've got conflicting information from multiple sites and multiple different, Reddit posts and all kinds of things of pretty much the same thing. People being like, oh yeah, you got a DDU. That's pretty much like the loudest thing on the internet when it comes to like swapping out drivers. Let's face it, dude. With PCs, there are multiple things that could happen. There are multiple things that could go wrong. You've got thousands of programs running on your PC in unison every single day, all the time. There's always something that could do it. I think the biggest thing and the reason why people are always like, yeah, you got a DDU, is because that's completely like ruling out everything, dude. That just completely wipes everything short of just doing a brand new Windows install. Later down the road, I do plan on building a whole nother build. We're going to do one on live stream. I'm going to show everybody, how to build one. But until then, like, we're going to test this dual GPU application on there. Now, I've talked to some of the people, I've like asked some questions. I've done a pretty decent amount of research on this, and everybody comes back to the same conclusion that, like, unless you're having like serious problems, like serious issues with the GPUs and serious issues, don't worry about it. You should be fine. Windows is an operating system that is literally designed to keep applications from interfering with other applications. That's the whole point of having an operating system, so you can bring all your stuff together. And then Windows, the whole job of Windows is to segregate those different programs from other programs. Unless Windows is broken, there should be no way that Nvidia drivers bleed into the AMD experience and vice versa. Like when you load up, when you boot your PC up, obviously it's going to recognize what hardware's in your GPU or in your PC, and it's going to utilize them drivers. There's nothing in the AMD drivers that is going to be activated. Like right when I get into it on Nvidia and I hit like Alt Z or Alt R or whatever, boom, Nvidia stuff pops up. And it's the same with AMD. If I'm in AMD, I hit Alt R and boom, Adrenaline software pops up. So the PC is smart. Like, it's pretty smart. Unless I start having like major fluctuations, like with games. Say I'm on the 7800 XT and I'm playing a game and it's just butter smooth the whole way through, and then I throw in the Nvidia one and I keep getting freaking blackout or timeouts or something like that. Then I'll delete the AMD software, try it again, and see how that works. If it's still doing it, then I will DDU it. But for this channel, for like what the purpose of this channel is pretty much about the gaming, helping people switch from, console over to PC. So I am 100% accepting this. I mean, if worst case scenario, guys, I have to reinstall Windows. That's worst case scenario. And if I do have a lot of issues and a lot of problems, I'll DDU it again. Like, I don't like doing that. I don't like downloading third-party stuff onto my freaking PC. Like, I don't like it. That's why I don't mod my games. I don't do any of that. I'm still in a learning phase. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, but I'm willing to go out of my way to test stuff so that people that want to, so that say you're like me and you want to be able to experience the best of both worlds. Say you want to have ray tracing with your Nvidia side, and say you want to have pure rasterized performance for your games that don't really care about that. I want to have that. I want to have access to that, and I don't want to have to sit here deleting things or running program or doing any of that kind of stuff. I just want to be able to slide my other GPU in. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd be able to have a motherboard that I could have both GPUs in there at the same time. You know what I mean? And then just decide which one I want to use. That would be the perfect option for me. But seeing as I can't do that, I'm doing this. This is the next best thing. So that way, when I buy a new game and a new game comes out, I can run it on the Nvidia card, then I can put in the AMD card and I can run it. It just saves me a lot of time. I have a full-time job. I mean, I'm willing to accept the consequences of whatever this is, and I will let people know in every single video that I make going forward from today that this is what we're going to do, and this is like a science thing, because I'm not really here to do benchmarks for you guys anyways. I mean, that's not like the whole thing that I signed up for. Like, my whole thing is like, hey man, I'm a 38-year console warrior veteran switching over to PC, and I'm just trying to help those that are interested in doing what I did find the right platform for them. Nvidia has a premium price to it. I want people to know exactly what they're getting into and what they're doing. Today I've had a good experience. I noticed that, like, running Horizon Forbidden West with the I put out that video running Horizon Forbidden West with frame generation enabled. That was what was causing those major frame rate issues. Because I've always had my controller wired, always have it wired, so it's not that. Plus, this is the Xbox Turtle Beach Stealth Ultra, so that's not an issue for that. Some of the other stuff I've got in there, I've set up some of the other, stuff that people were saying, hey man, this might be an issue. So I increased the shader thing to 100. It used to be on default. I'd never switched that on the Nvidia GPU. So now it's at 100 gigabytes for all that. I've I've got in there and I've set I've set my max frame rate on the 165 to 158. In there, I've turned the VSync on, all of that, all of that stuff. Everything is all set up. I'm not having any problems. I was just in the Witcher 3 before I got on here. Witcher 3 is running super butter smooth. So here's the thing with that one though. The other day I was running at 4K like I was on the 7600 XT. I don't necessarily think I'm going to test a whole lot of games at 4K on the 4070 Super, just because of what when I was running The Witcher and I had it in there at 4K with quality DLSS, I was getting some stutter every once in a while. I would get with the frame generation enabled, I would get some stutter and it would be like, whoa, bogged down. So I turned off frame generation, put it to 1440p. And man, it was butter freaking smooth. No problems at all. And when I looked at the VRAM usage on that, it said like a 11745 or something. Like it was almost 12. And then right when I turned that down to 1440p, it dropped to like 900 or 9,000 or 7,000 or something. And it was just butter smooth, like no issue at all. So 4K is going to be a very, I'm going to pick and choose my battles when it comes to 4K a lot more. I do want to show people, especially like console gamers, that that are wanting to switch to PC. Like, yeah, like some games you're going to be able to do 4K. So basically, games like Call of Duty or those kind of games, like racing games, stuff like that, I think I'll still try to do 4K on the 4070 Super. But when it comes to like open world games or any of that other stuff, the newer games, I'll probably just run those at 1440p. The 7800 XT has 16 gigs of RAM. It can push into 4K territory a lot easier because it has the VRAM budget. For the 4070 Super, we're gonna, yes, there's gonna be some cases that you're gonna be able to run that at 4K. There's gonna be some use cases. There's gonna be games that don't have a whole lot of VRAM utilization, and you'll be able to do that. But the truth of the matter is there are gonna be some limitations when it comes to 4K for that GPU, and that's fine. Like that's fine. I got a 1440p monitor. That's what we bought them for. If the 7600 XT has an edge at going to 4K, the 4070 Super has an edge of being able to do better ray tracing. So there's trade-offs that you're going to have with each of these cards that nobody really covers because nobody really cares. It's all about the numbers and showing you this and showing you that to get all their clicks, whatever. I mean, and that's fine. But then when you're like me and you're confused about PC gaming and you just want a good option, for me, that choice is both. For me, it's both. I have to have both. I have to have Nvidia and I have to have AMD. Simply, if I want to experience ray tracing, look how much money I've spent on GPUs. There's no reason at all for me to deny myself being able to use ray tracing on games. I mean, I already am kind of denying myself when it comes to PC gaming because I'm not rocking a 7900 XTX and I'm not rocking a 4080 or a 4090. You know what I mean? Like I've put myself in the mid-range so that I can cover that and actually be in that mid-range with the people that I'm covering it for. I think that's fair. I mean, there's no reason for me to throw in a 4090 and play on a 4090 while trying to get you to leave console somewhere you're comfortable, somewhere you feel confident to go into a mid-range GPU that I'm just covering numbers for you. No, I'm putting myself right there with you because I feel comfortable there. It's not it's not like I mean it still obviously is going to have them limitations, you know, kind of like a console experience, but it's not going to kill your pocketbook as much. You know, if I go out, if you go out and buy a 4090, or you invest all that money and you have an experience like I did with Nvidia, where you're not sure of what's going on, where you're missing features, where you're not liking something, where something's not lining up right, that's going to feel like you wasted your money. That's going to give you a bad experience. That's going to make you bitter like I was. But I'm not bitter anymore. I'm not bitter anymore. There are things that the Nvidia GPUs can do that the AMD GPUs can't do. And that's fine. And there's things that the AMD GPUs can do, you know, like saving you money, being able to push into 4K because it has more VRAM. There's 100% good reasons to buy both GPUs. There really is. I'm having a good time with the Nvidia GPU, and I am. I'm keeping it in there. I'm playing around with it. I'm utilizing it. I am doing everything I can to make the experience as good as I can so that I can fully enjoy both GPUs. I want to be able to have the best gaming experience in the mid-range that I can. For this mid-range, for the 7800 XT and the 4070 Super, you can expect anywhere from 60 to 80 frames a second at 1440p, pretty much at native resolution. At 4K with the 7800 XT, utilizing, you know, FSR and all of that stuff, you can expect anywhere from a 40 to a 60 to, well, 40 to 70 FPS at that. Same goes for the 4070 on games that are not VRAM limited. On games that it's not VRAM limited, you've got about the exact same. With frame generation, you can push both of those cards 150 plus in 1440p. And up to 120 or a little bit above 120 at 4K. So you can definitely utilize frame generation on both of these cards to deliver a 4K 120 or a really high refresh rate at 1440p and still have quality visual settings. That's pretty much what I've tested and I've seen. Like these are pretty good cards for that mid-range experience. And I kind of feel like if you're going from console, I think mid-range is probably where you want to be because that is going to give you a lot better control, and there's enough features now with these cards. They're feature-rich. DLSS, FSR, frame generation, low latency modes, just everything, like dynamic resolution scaling, everything that you've got on these, more VRAM, better quality visuals, a stabler, you know, for the most part, a much stabler gameplay experience. You know, I mean, if you lock your frame rates, if you lock it to 60, if you're above 60, you lock it to 60. If you're above, you know, and you lock your frame rates, it's a stable experience. When you're looking at like frame rate counters, why I'm playing games and why everybody's playing games. I'll make some videos showing you guys that, like, look, if you lock it, it's stable. I'll make some videos so that you know that, so that you can see that. But when I'm doing like the video, if I lock it, then people are like, why are you locking your videos? You're supposed to do it with this, or you're supposed to do it with that. And I'm like, dude, I'm not a fucking benchmark channel. I'm not a benchmark channel. I'm not a PC freaking expert, dude. I'm a consumer just like you. I'm a consumer just like you. I'm just buying stuff and covering it because I'm excited about it. And I want you to be excited about it. And I want to show you about it. And because I mean, like, seriously, at the end of the day, we're gamers and we just want to enjoy playing video games. I mean, the freaking clickbait e-beggars are already freaking out on Dragon's Dogma 2. Guys, he's got microtransactions. I'm like, dude, these microtransactions start at 99 cents and the most expensive one is $5. Are you kidding me? Really? You're going to cry about that? Like, the way they were crying about it really had me thinking that it was like Black Desert Online freaking microtransactions, and I'm like, oh gosh, no, that's going to suck. And like on Black Desert Online, you pay $50 for a tent, so you can set up a tent before you go out and grind. Like, I'm not even joking. It was like $50. It's like $26 or $30 for a freaking outfit. For an outfit for your character. I'm like, oh my freaking gosh, man. Like, those kind of microtransactions and MMOs and all them other games are pretty egregious. And the funny thing is Every single one of these people have bought games. Anybody complaining about Dragon's Dogma right now having microtransactions, don't buy Grand Theft Auto 6. Don't even play it. Don't buy Grand Theft Auto 6. If you don't like microtransactions, don't buy it, because yeah, that game's full of them. So all right, man. But that's my plans with the 4070 Super and the 7800 XT. If you watch this video, trust and I mean, I will be, you know, letting people know in all the videos from today forward, or from tomorrow forward, the videos I've already recorded and they're putting out today. All of those were done with both the drivers installed, so you guys will be able to see those. I've got a Outcast video coming out. I put out a Horizon Forbidden West video. I put out a Dragon's Dogma one. All of those had both drivers. All three of those videos today had both drivers. So yeah, everything that I put on, because I took the AMD card out, I put the 4070 back in, I downloaded, or I reinstalled the drivers, all of that stuff, and then I just moved forward with that. Every time dude, another thing, guys, every time I uninstall drivers and do all of that stuff, I have to reset up all of my freaking programs. And like, you guys used to get mad at me all the time, like, man, the sound or this or that. Because there's a lot of stuff to go back into all of these things and reset up, because I'm not on a test PC. I'm on my PC that I use every day. So I got to reset up settings in Streamlabs. I got to reset up settings in the freaking in the Nvidia thing. I got to make sure that all my stuff is back into the folders and files that I save everything to, or it just gets misplaced, or it all defaults to drive C. There's so much stuff and it wastes so much damn time that it's annoying. So if you guys don't agree with the way I'm doing this, you don't have to watch my content. I'm not doing this to be deceitful or to deceive anybody. I'm not going negative against Nvidia. I'm 100% committed to covering both brands fairly. But I'm not going to just sit here and be like, oh yeah, Nvidia is the best, and completely like shun AMD, because the experience that AMD has given me for over the last 8 months has been absolutely worth the money and very incredible. Very incredible. I've loved every moment of it. It's taught me so much about PC. It's helped me gain so much knowledge, and it's been good for growth on the channel. It's incredible. I love AMD. I know when I buy a game and I play it on AMD, like, I feel comfortable being like, okay, yeah, I'm going to buy that on PC. There was a long time where I was afraid to buy it on PC. I was like, man, I'll just get it on the Xbox where I know it's going to work, you know, or I'll buy it on the PlayStation where I know it's at least going to be optimized. I don't feel like that anymore with AMD. And now that I'm going to be covering both, so far, all of these games that have come out have run great on this 4070 Super. Dragon's Dogma, it's actually running a little bit better than the 7800 XT. I'm getting like 60-ish frames when I'm running inside little town areas. Where on the 7800 XT, it was dropping down into like the 40s and stuff. So and like out in the world and stuff, I'm getting a little bit higher frame rate. So. Yeah. So I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like these games that I've been testing out. Outcast runs beautifully on the 4070 Super. I'm playing that game at like 4K, 80 frames, 90 frames a second. That game's pretty beautiful, pretty lush, but it does look like it has like last generation like visuals and stuff. So I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look like super next gen or anything like that. So I mean, it's like I'm not surprised to see the visual quality and the frame rate running the way it is. I was actually a little worried about that game too, because it was like something that like I played the demo and stuff, and it wasn't very well optimized. Like it was struggling on the AMD cards, it was struggling on the Xbox. So yeah, I don't know, guys. And I mean, I'm hoping that you're as curious as I am about running both drivers on the PC. Like I'm hoping that there's more curious people out there to that want to see this, to want to know, man, to like want to know if this is something that's like really going to affect you. Because I know there's probably a lot of people out there that would love to be able to do what I'm going to do. They would love to be able to do what I'm going to do by, you know, having both GPUs. I mean, obviously, if people can afford 4090s and stuff like that, what if they could get $2,000 GPUs? You know, get the $1,000 freaking Nvidia, the $1,000 AMD, and when you want to play a game that's going to have perfect rasterization performance on AMD, boom, you throw in your AMD card. When you want to play something with ray tracing, boom, you throw in your Nvidia card. I mean, dude, I think there's a market for that too, because I'm in that market. I want to be part of that. I am that market. That's me, man. Like I said, guys, I'm a consumer. I'm a gamer just like you. And why deny myself something when I know for a fact now that I've actually bought and used both GPUs, that there is a 100% reason for me to own both of them. There is. There's 100% reason for me to own both of them. I don't have to not have good ray tracing on Alan Wake 2 or Cyberpunk 2077 or any of these other games. And I don't have to spend $1,000 on the top of the line AMD GPU to do that. I mean, I can obviously play ray tracing, you know, but now I get a little bit better ray tracing performance out of the 4070 Super. Whereas on the AMD card, now I can play all my Ubisoft games no problem. I don't have to worry about running out of VRAM from the 12 gigabytes on the 4070 Super, because I can just throw in my 7800 XT or, you know, my 7900 XT, and I can play those games. Like, I'm happy. And that's what matters. I'm happy. I'm going to do this. I hope you guys are interested in this. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one.